I made a huge mistake. And what I mean by that is the fact that my foundation is not exactly where I want it. So after doing a little bit of research and trying to fit my own ATTE in this mock setup, I did not like how it looks. It's just not going to give me enough flexibility, enough room to add in some of the features that I wanted to for this mock in particular. And since it's so early on and it is week 3, I figured let's reverse some steps. It's not going to really be like all this was for nothing, but I am pretty much going to have to kind of dial it all the way back to like 0 or 10%. And I went ahead and purchased some bigger base plates. So I believe it's 48 by 48. So I'm going to be using those. I think I'm going to use 3 of them this time. So it's almost like an extra 48 studs bigger. And that's going to give me plenty of room for everything that I'm actually looking forward to doing with this mock. So I want to give you guys a heads up on that. That's pretty much how we're going to start this week, is kind of taking a step back, but also taking a step forward and trying to get as much done and back caught up, and also, you know, progress obviously since week 2. And now we're going to be doing a couple more other things in this video. I have some 327 figs that I got in from Clone Army Customs that we talked about last week. And we're also going to place a Bricklink order to get some parts that we're going to need to utilize to help further progression on this mock. And then a few other things that I'm going to trickle in there as well, but let's get started. Minus a few broken brown plates. This is coming along quite well. Looks like we almost have majority of this entire startup almost done. So I'm going to keep working at this and then hopefully get the rest apart. So I just decided to get all of the pieces off of the base plates that I created from previous weeks. And I figured let's just start over. Unfortunately, the weeks prior were a waste. I wasn't going to try and take everything off. I was going to try and scavenge what I could, but I figured let's just start it right. So that's one thing I learned, is if you are going to be using bigger like vehicles such as an ATTE, like mine fit in the beginning and I did like the way how it looked, but there's more that I want to incorporate. I just felt like I was really limited on space. So I just decided let's just start from scratch and do all of this again. I'm going to go ahead and catch up, and I'm going to try and get back to where I was and obviously progress a little bit. So moving on into the current week, week 3, we can get a little bit forward in this series. And I guess what I mean by checking is when I did put my ATTE on here in the beginning, like I noticed this size, like, and I thought I was going to be okay with it. But after like starting to put things on, I just really felt like we were limited on space right here, just because like I wanted to add a couple like farming houses. So you just can't do it like that. And I figured maybe I can get one like right here, but then it's going to be so crammed right here where Ayla and the 327th are at. And then you won't really have much space for like the separatist area. So we're going to make that move to the bigger 48 by 48 base plates. So here is the current base plate we're going to be starting to work with. This is 48 by 48 studs. And you can see the difference between the ones that we had pre-made. So this is going to make a big difference when it comes to the vehicle layout, adding like the vegetation and the farmhouses. So I really feel like this is a better move, especially doing this right away. So we have this. I'm going to go ahead and put down the other 2 that we're going to be utilizing, and hopefully it's going to fit perfectly with this desk. I know I'm going to have a little bit of wiggle room, and I got to have that because of my daughter. It's going to just work out perfect. So let's do that. Minus my daughter singing the ABCs in the background. This is kind of like what we're looking at as far as these base plates go. So when we do put them together, I'll make sure that they interlock perfectly. So I'm not too worried about that. But again, this just gives us so much more room, whether that's a good or a bad thing. It allows me to do a little bit more of what I'm actually wanting to do. So let's go ahead and try putting the ATTE on here and see what the difference looks like. And as you guys can see, placing it really where I'm going to probably have it, it works out perfectly. So it gives more room for like the Separatist army and a little bit of for the Order 66 scene that I'm trying to do. And then I'm going to actually probably move this guy back here a little bit more. Yeah, I think I like that a little bit more. And then I'm going to have like a river flowing through here. So let's jump into Photoshop and recreate now from this stuff.
And by making the switch to these bigger 48 by 48 base plates, it's just going to give me so much more flexibility in my build. It's definitely going to allow me to keep with my vision of everything that I wanted to have in it. I mean, those smaller base plates before just didn't really do the trick, so I figured, why not? We're in the early stages, let's just make this happen. And again, it's going to allow me to keep pretty much all my original ideas, and I think that's like the main thing. I'll also be able to add in a few extra things, such as like this green river. I just wanted to add something different. You know, I did want to kind of work with water this time around, or make it look like water-like. So that's one big thing that I'm planning on doing. Also with the separatist base, I know I'm gonna have a little bit of issues maybe with the buildings, but maybe in this regard I might look up some like rebrickable things and try to see if I can make something that maybe has already been made. Now, the 327 figs we're actually going to be showing you guys in this video. Clone Army Customs finally got delivered, so it's going to be really interesting. I'm actually pumped for that. I mean, I feel like figs definitely hold it down for these mocks and tell that story. But overall, I'm super excited for this build, and seriously guys, I just can't wait to see the progress on this thing.
So my daughter and I are breaking down the base plates that we were utilizing for the very first start of the mock. But I need more pieces, so I figured let's break them down now that it's early. That way we don't have to have all these on the desk. Now I have successfully broke the entire thing down. Now it's time to get back to building. Alright, so now that we got a little bit of the pathway finally on here, and kind of got these two base plates right here put together, I'm going to be checking out and seeing how I'm going to be adding in this purplish water and then also like a green looking water as well. And it looks like on that first base plate between the two, we're going to have to go ahead and maybe remove a base plate to be able to add some of this purple to go through. And then same thing on, I guess, 2 and 3. Or maybe I should say base plate 1, 2, and 3. Between 1 and 2, we're going to have a green river. So I'm going to have to get some green plate to get that started. So now what we're going to want to do is take a break from working on the foundation. And we're going to want to start working on the little stream thing that I'm going to be having inside this Felucia mock. So now is the time to grab our colors and see what we're gonna do. I'm thinking like a green kind of color to make it pop a little bit, to add a little bit of color to this entire mock. So let's gather the colors that we need. Now that we got both sides basically clipped on, this one's got that like lime green look. And I've never actually like dealt with base plates like this, but like if I do zoom in on here, you can see that there's like a slight little gap. So I don't know if that's exactly like how these things are supposed to clip on, but if you guys know, let me know in the comment section down below. But we're going to continue working on this and at least getting a nice set platform for the green water over here. So I was able to get majority of like the river started right here, and I'm just still trying to figure out if I want it to be this big. I'm thinking about changing it so it kind of like flows and kind of comes out this way, because I might put a little farm area right here. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm just leaving also a path like on this single stud on the very bottom, just in case I want to make it into like a diorama or some sort of other finish. But I think I am going to go back a little bit and fix this to make this a little bit more skinnier and kind of make it come up here. So that's what I'm currently working on. So here's what it's looking like. I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job on getting the colors going. Again, I just wanted to add a little bit more depth with like the other colors I'm actually using for the water. So in my opinion, I think it's coming out really well. Once we like tile it off with the trans clear, it's gonna make it look like a really nice water river thing that I'm trying to do here. So far this is coming along great. Again, I'll have to start working on, what is this, base plate 3, but yeah, I mean, a little at a time. Now, I've been working on the foundation for quite some time, and I decided that I'm just gonna speed through it a little bit. So I wanna show you guys the exact update of everything that I've been doing. I added a lot of texture and different like levels with studs to, I don't know, give it more of a realistic look. Now we're still going to be tiling everything off and making a little bit more premium. Of course, there's going to be a lot of plants and vegetation to make this like pop totally, but I figured let's get the pathway down, and we're going to be kind of like working more with base plate 1 later down the road. That's going to be where the separatist base is at, but for now we're going to be doing base plates 2 and 3 and really just getting rid of those gray studs. So that's what we're going to be working on right now.
But before we wrap up this video, I want to show you a few packages that I got in the mail, starting with our Bricklink order. I knew I wanted to place this order knowing that next week I'm going to be working more on the water surface on our mock, so I figured order them now. Next, I ordered from a company called Printech. I've ordered from them before. They make some amazing custom pauldrons here in the United States. Pretty much any Legion you need, this guy has them. He also has a few other stuff on his website that some people might be interested in, but specifically I ordered these 3/27 pauldrons for our clones that we're going to be utilizing here very soon. And speaking of clones, we got our Clone Army Customs package in the mail from last week's order. We got 6 figs total, which I am so excited for this. And I want to show you guys how those Printech pauldrons go on the minifigures. It just makes them look so much more realistic. So in my opinion, I think it's a plus for sure. So if you guys need pauldrons, make sure you guys check out Printech. They are awesome. I also got an ATTE driver for the 327th Legion, and boy, let me tell you, this is such a cool fig. I'm actually pumped that I ordered it. I also got a heavy, and of course with the heavy we had to get a minigun, so I picked that up as well. And we got 4 of the standard regs, and again, these guys just look so great. They got their trooper blaster and their pauldron, so I can't complain whatsoever. And what is the 327th without Commander Bly? So he was a must. I also got this guy from Clone Army Customs a few weeks back, knowing I was going to do this mock. And of course, for the 327th, you have to have Ayla Secura. So this is going to be an awesome figure to have for this mock. I really did want to use that Clone Wars version, but I think I am going to stick to the more realistic one from that Republic fighter tank.
That wraps it up for week 3. I'm so impressed with the amount of work that we did. Unfortunately, we had to take a couple steps back, but with the steps back, we still made some steps forward. I mean, it's just a learning curve for me, and I'm pretty pumped still regardless for this mock to happen. But if you guys have any tips or want to leave me any feedback, please be sure to in the comment section down below. But if you guys enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and tap the notification bell to be notified when I do drop a new video. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.